Bill O'Reilly, host of the No Spin News, BillO'Reilly.com. Online, YouTube.com/Bill O'Reilly. His new book, Confronting Evil, Assessing the Worst of the Worst, makes a great Christmas present. Bill, our reporting, President Trump moved up his Pennsylvania trip. He was going to go after the first of the year. The White House team said, no, you need to get out on the trail now. You spoke to the president last Wednesday, Thursday, I believe. You were at the White House. We have some pictures of that. What does President Trump see the problem as?
There's so many different aspects to it. It's hard to answer that question with one generality. So the president, number one, understands what happened to him in 17 and that the Republicans got wiped out. And he doesn't want that to happen again because that kills the last 2 years, and he's a lame duck in his legacy and all that. So he's listening to Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. I believe the interest rates will be cut a quarter, probably next week. That'll help buy a house and bring housing prices down, where you might be better off buying a house and renting. And depending on where you live, if there are a lot of places for rent, your rent's going to go down. If there aren't, it's going to go up. But Americans are not a patient people. So Donald Trump did make a lot of promises. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, not only in the economic realm, but Ukraine war. And reality bites, as the movie says. It's very difficult, particularly when the government is presiding over a free market economy. So my strategy, just as an American, is to be smart with my money. And I tell people, look, you don't like the high price of beef? Don't buy it. Buy chicken, all right? Buy fish. That'll drive the price down quicker than anything.
Oh, Bill,
And
come on.
come
on, Bill. You don't win hearts and minds of the American people by telling them to do without. That sounds like Jimmy Carter, remember?
No,
we have a problem with malaise.
I'm not trying to win any hearts and minds. I'm just giving people advice on how to get out of this oppressive cost situation and be smart. Be smart. There are lots of places you can go for bargains, and particularly on Christmas shopping, but there are lots of places that are gouging you, absolutely gouging you. $36 for a cheeseburger in Los Angeles?
Yeah, it's because you stay at one of those fancy five-star. You stay at fancy hotels, Bill. Come on. But I think there's a different issue here, right?
It was $36.
Right, because fancy hotels have $36 cheeseburgers, and the caviar is probably more expensive. You're a good point. Don't order it. But this is where we're going. This is where we're going here. Okay, Susie Wiles, I think, gave maybe the first interview I've seen of her. She's the chief of staff. Very, very behind the scenes. I know you know her. She gave what I think has been her first or second interview since she has gotten into the White House. Take a listen.
It to him yet, but he's going to campaign like it's 2024 again.
Oh.
For all these people that he helps. He doesn't help everybody, but for those he does, he's a difference maker, and he's certainly a turnout machine.
You talk to the president. What does he see that he has to explain to the American people? There's a disconnect between what Donald Trump is saying about affordability and prices and how the American people are feeling. What does he see that he has to say that's going to bridge that gap on the campaign trail so he doesn't lose the House?
I don't know. I don't discuss that kind of micro detail with him. It's up to his speechwriters and himself. But I will tell you, there's a new Harris poll out tonight, and Trump's numbers are up fairly significantly in the last 2 weeks. Why is that? I don't know why it is. I'm going to have to look at the poll. But this is a seesaw. This goes up and it goes down. And the column that you referred to is, look, we're in a difficult price spiral. You can blame Biden. That doesn't do any good. Everybody knows that anybody who's fair knows Biden was a very bad president. Blaming him isn't going to get you anywhere. I go as specific as possible on it. Here's what my administration is planning to do in 26. As far as health insurance, food is concerned, gas already coming down. So you'll hear about that tomorrow, I'm sure. But I hope the president doesn't spend all his time telling everybody how great things are, because as Kelly pointed out in Wilkes-Barre, my first job in TV was in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. You know, people, they feel that things aren't that great. And if you're going to try to talk them into it, you're not going to get anywhere. So be specific. We're doing this. For example, I would absolutely campaign for health insurance to be sold across state lines. Open it up for competition. All right? Drive it down. That's how you do it, not with regulations.
Well, you're speaking what this
Party,
big issue is going to be coming up is healthcare. Good news for Kelly Meyer.
Yeah,
Her first market.
and that needs to be
her first
addressed.
Market, Kelly Meyer's first market, though, was Wilkes-Barre as well. So there are big shoes of yours to fill. Your column makes the point that the best thing going for Republicans is Democrats and who they pick. There is a group of Democrats who's decided, there's a group of Democrats that's decided that they're going to go all in on affordability. There's a group of Democrats who are going to go all in on hating Donald Trump. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett is running for Senate in Texas against Ted Cruz. Texas may be a little bit like Lucy in the football.
And who do you think's going to win that race?
Hold on,
Come on.
I don't have to. Of course,
it's a publicity stunt.
Right, it is a publicity stunt, and it's interesting she's getting out of the house to do it. But this is her campaign launch ad, and we want to be clear with our viewers, okay? This is her ad. Jasmine Crockett put it together. It's audio clips of Donald Trump describing her. Take a listen.
How about this new one they have, their new star, Crockett? How about her? She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
Is this a gift to Republicans?
You know, look, I don't subscribe, as Mr. Trump does, to you know, trying to belittle whoever he doesn't like. And he does it to me, too. So I'm used to it for 35 years. But I'll tell you what. I follow Congresswoman Crockett a bit because she's very entertaining, only for entertaining value, all right? I have not heard her say anything about solving any problem that makes sense. Not one thing, not one problem. She's here, she's there, she's flamboyant, she's funny, she's feisty. All right, lady, you're sitting in Texas, you had an open border. Did you criticize the open border? No.
No.
Okay, lady, and I'm not being disrespectful, but this is the way I speak. How about the massive spending under Joe Biden, the biggest spending president in United States history by far? Did you urge any restraint in that area that ignited inflation?
You're making the case that policy matters. You're making the case that policy matters.
I guess. No. Here's the case I'm making. The Democratic Party doesn't have any ideas to solve anything. It's all about hating Trump, rhetoric, but it's not, hey, if we get power, we're going to bring in this program to make your life better. Look at Minnesota. Look at that billion-dollar grift. Is there one Democrat on record? It had to be broken by the Manhattan Institute. And the whole state is controlled by Democrats. It'd still be going on if these two journalists didn't blow the cover on it. Because nobody watched it. All they want to do is spend more and more and more and more, and that's Ms. Crockett. For what? You don't even demand results for the money. How can any thinking person, as much as you may dislike Donald Trump's demeanor and presentation, go over to a party that's got zero solutions, nothing? And I'll remind you that Kamala Harris was the border czar. What in God's name did she do for 4 years?
Well, that's why she lost.
Well, but she got 72 million votes from Americans who don't care about successful policy. They vent. And there are Republicans in that soup can, too. There are people who make excuses for the Republican Party. Republican Party, by this time, should have a very well thought out health insurance program.
They don't.
Absolutely well thought out. They don't have it. So why not? That's my question.
You know,
So
solving
when you
problems
come
a lot
down
harder than
to it-
identifying them. But we gotta run. Bill, as always.
Yeah, it's hard,
Thank you.
Leland.
It is hard.
Okay. Tomorrow, just one final word. I'm just hoping that President Trump looks forward,
Yep.
okay, and gives solutions rather than it's Biden's fault. That's not going to get him anywhere.
Elections are about the future. Well said, Bill. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.